Hey, everybody. We are here with just a Power Pack family. I don't always work with families, but this one was a really unique, special experience. And Shannon and Mia, um, basically, Shannon came to me for specific coaching reasons, and I luckily got to get to know her daughter Mia just as well. And so I would love for you to both share kind of first, like, what were some of the frustrations and challenges that you had before we ever really connected?
Um, for me personally, as you know, we we were going through some severe loss in our home, between the death of my father and then eventually the death of my best friend, who's her auntie.
Mm,
And so we were at a growth stage in our life, trying to evolve as business owners, trying to evolve as humans, and also deal with like the worst devastation of our life. And
yeah,
so we were truly at I know I was at probably the most vulnerable space I've ever been in my life. And um, I've just turned 50, right? So you go through vulnerability in lots of different ways through different stages and ages of life and development.
yeah,
And my saboteurs, as I learned from you, um, in life was that I would people please, I would um, overwork, overextend, overachieve, like to deal with my pain my entire life. I would do those things. And I knew I did those things. I didn't know it was saboteurs. I didn't know
mm,
it was how I was processing my emotions and my pain. But what I knew was I, when my dad passed and I was feeling emotions I'd never felt before. I was feeling anger, I was feeling rage, and those were things I never really felt before. And I didn't even know why, and I didn't know where to place it. Um, I knew I needed to come up with a healthy way to deal with this. I didn't want to be left in 10, 20 years from now looking back and regretting how I handled loss. And I
mm,
wanted a healthy experience. And so that was why I reached out, to you. I was really intrigued by the idea of RTT and using it as a
yeah,
form of therapy. And I knew that I had personally experienced, I'd been in therapy off and on throughout my entire life. Some positive, not some not so great.
sure,
I wanted to approach it in a more holistic way, in a more systematic way. And you had made the comment, in talking about your business about the to be a truly successful human being in your any endeavor or goal, you need to address all the pockets of your life, right?
sure, yep,
And so from health to wellness to, your values and belief
all of it,
systems,
yeah,
everything. And so I was like, why not?
yeah,
Why not try something in this full package experience? It truly became the most therapeutic experience of my life. And while I signed up for business coaching, which I did receive from you, I feel that my total, like, bulk of my investment of how I chose to use my time and experience with you was towards the therapy.
yeah.
And I'm a completely different person today and how I interact and deal with my emotions and my pain. I still people please a little bit, but
It's
but
a process, right? It's a
it's a
process of
process for
shifting
one,
that program for sure.
but I'm also aware of it
Yeah,
and I make the choice.
mm,
Like I'm no longer just on autopilot doing things. I now can say, is this how I want to use my time? Is
yeah,
this where I want to put the bucket? Um, and and what I also do differently when I people please now, either with my coworkers or my boss or my family, is I name it. Like I'm going to do this
mm,
right now, but this is where it stops,
yeah.
and please respect that boundary. And everybody does. We all respect each other's boundaries. We've gotten really good at talking about boundaries because
That's
at
one
the
of
end,
my favorite things when working with both of you. It was a lot of it was the boundary stuff, right? And like it was how do we set those in a healthy way? How do we raise our lowest standards? And as we know, it's a lot of it's connected to the enoughness piece of this puzzle. So it's creating all of those cycles within that. And one of the things that I truly appreciated, Shannon, was that and I take this responsibility very seriously. You said, you know what, I think my daughter could benefit from having conversations with you as well. And you trusted me to work with your child, which is really an amazing thing. So you said have a conversation with Mia, and then so Mia, you had different things than mom. So what were some of the frustrations and challenges that you had that you were like, we need to go deeper into this?
I think the number one frustration and challenge I had was that I wanted to, I'm gonna put it bluntly, trigger warning, kill myself. And so I I I wanted to kill myself every day, multiple times a day. It was like a compulsive thought almost. It was almost like a compulsion. Like, oh, you messed up, Mia, now you gotta die. Ooh, you did this, now you don't deserve to live. Mm, you're a terrible human being. You should die. And so I knew that that was not healthy. Because why would that be healthy?
Yeah,
But I was like, okay, why does it feel so natural then? And so I think that I didn't really realize how much the chemicals in my body were playing into this. Like
yeah,
especially the cortisol. I know everybody's talking about cortisol, cortisol, cortisol. Okay, but what are you actually doing to manage the cortisol? Do you actually know what you're doing? And I
yeah.
did not actually know what I was doing. And so when I joined you and then we started the food program, the nutrition program, I noticed my face getting less puffy. Like,
Mm,
also, by the way, before I started your program, like days before, my boss literally pulled me to the side and looked at me and was like, "Are you okay? You don't look okay." Because
mm,
that's how like I was breaking out in hives, my face, my throat was puffy, my nose was puffy, like I had like really dry skin, like I was breaking down at work in the middle of work,
yeah.
which I love my job, so that's not normal. Um, and so I was like literally crying in the middle of work and having to go find my mom because we work together. And so um yeah, it was just like I didn't realize how much my chemicals had to do with it.
Yeah.
And I think also like mine's the way you like the way you're able to reframe, like you specifically are able to reframe
Mhm,
thoughts, especially in
mhm.
your weekly calls.
Yeah.
Like I know I wasn't able to make every call, but I would really try to make a point to at least watch your call from live because I don't know why, but I was just always like not able to find the link. And so I was like, at least I can watch it on Facebook Live. And
Yeah.
so I would try to do that if I could. But like the way you would reframe my thoughts, it when each person would get their turn to talk about something that they needed that week. And um so yeah, with the mixture of good nutrition and, thought reframing, I was able to feel more calm in my head. And also I think because I did the nutrition training, um, again, I had more ability to make better food choices. So like I
Totally.
still eat unhealthy now. Like I still eat gluten and dairy and sugar throughout the week, but let's it's like a majority of the time, like let's say I'm having two of my meals in the day, no sugar, no dairy, none of that. Or it's like maybe my whole day, it's like I've gone gluten, dairy free. Now I'm just sugar free for the day. So it's like, I know like maybe I'm not doing it all, but I'm definitely way more balanced in a way that makes me feel better about myself.
That's
Like
the big key. That's the big key. It's not trying to perfect this, folks. Anyone that's listening, it's like this isn't about being perfect, right? It's about these little mini shifts mentally, physically, and emotionally that allow you to actually get the results that you want, right?
exactly.
Well,
That,
and like for me, we went Carl, my fiance we went on vacation in January, and I was a little bit nervous and scared because one, I was doing a challenge with my own fitness studio, and two, that seems to be the time when everybody falls off the wagon, right?
Yep.
When it comes to your food choice.
Yeah.
We had an amazing trip. We ate fabulous food, and I didn't break the rules. I didn't break my personal rules, I guess I should say,
Yeah.
for myself. And I didn't come home feeling gross, and the scale wasn't bad, and like nothing. It was just all the way it should have been. And I was like, this is how I want to vacation. This is how
Nice.
I want to live. This is,
Yeah.
and that I was like seriously freaking out, stressed and paranoid about going on vacation and then coming back and getting on a scale because that always seems to be when it's ruined, right?
Sure.
And then from that moment when it wasn't, I was like, this is my lifestyle, you know?
Yeah. It's that mental shift is a big part of this. It's the combo, like we said. It's the mental, physical, and emotional shifts and changes that actually amount to the what you said beautifully. It's this lifestyle change, right? And that's the only way we can get results and keep them. Because what's the point of getting if we can't keep them? So I just so appreciate both of you just sharing such deep personal things because this is the type of thing where there's people out there that are feeling like you felt and feeling lost and not sure what to do and not where no certainty of where to turn and the both of you really leaned into this and I'm just so proud of the growth that you had during this process of actually being open and willing to push yourself outside of your comfort zone and do the things that felt uncomfortable, uncertain, unfamiliar to the subconscious and then moving along. So if you were to send a message out to anybody in that may listen to this in the future, is there any advice that you would give them if they are in a place that you were in?
Mm. Some advice I would give someone who's in a place where I was in. Um, I would say that if anybody's feeling how I was feeling, like even though if you know you're not really gonna do it, but you still have that like impulse, um, I would say that one, don't act on anything. You don't have to make a decision on anything. But two, seek help. Like I've said it so many times this year. Like if it wasn't for my network of people,
Mm,
I would not be in the same place I'm at right now. Like
totally.
I would not be feeling better mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. And
Yep.
so I would say definitely seek help, but also um really lean into your community. And when it comes to your program and advice for anybody, I would say also there is a lot of things that this program has to offer, and it can it can be kind of daunting if you want to take on it all. But I would say choose what you really want to change that year and focus on that.
Yep.
So I try to dabble in
Absolutely.
things here and there with your program, and I got great results from that. But what I really wanted when I look back on my year was, well, I got my will to live again. And so my advice would be find one thing that you feel like you really want to focus on towards your mental health and work on that, whether it's like your hypnotism or your nutrition, you know, try those things,
Yep.
try them out in the beginning to find out what you really want to focus on for the rest of the program. Um, but yeah, but also don't be afraid to like reach out because I think that like
Absolutely.
sometimes I would kind of fall off the radar because I kind of felt shamed that I wasn't being consistent. And then I was like, well, who are you being consistent for? Are you being consistent for Matt or are you being consistent for yourself? You
Thank you.
know?
Yes,
And I
exactly.
and I also like eventually was like, well, Matt's not sitting here judging because I remember you said um like I'm just gonna assume that you all are doing really good unless you tell me you're doing bad. And I was like, why?
He's crazy busy.
Yeah, I was like, I don't
Yeah.
know why that like clicked in my head that like he's not
Yeah.
sitting around being like, you're not doing this. Like, in fact, you're actually like, you actually, I think we're seeing the growth more than I was seeing the growth
Absolutely.
at the
Yeah.
time. And so, yeah, my advice would be to dabble a little bit in the beginning on all of this that this program has to offer, and then pick something that you want to focus on that you feel like is really helpful. Um, but also don't be afraid to speak out.
Yep,
Like,
absolutely. And that's one of my favorite things about you, Mia, is I've watched your confidence just like blossom in this whole process and like really just lean into your own self. And I mean, the fact that like your thing is one of the things that's near and dear to my heart, where I just want people to know that there's someone there. You can reach out, folks. I personally had a lot of friends that aren't here anymore, and to be part of your journey, and just watch you to grow and lean into this. I'm just super proud of you, man. Just so proud of you. And I just it's just awesome. And I'm just so glad you're here. And I just love watching what's happened in this journey.
So I have to say, I don't want to cry. I think
Sometimes
we're all
that
getting a little
happens, you know.
emotional right now.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, I just feel like this saved my family. Um,
Yeah, because Maddie did the nutrition program
well,
too.
and not just on that level. I think
yeah,
I I was at such a crazy point in life. So when you're a parent and you're like the matriarch and right, you're looking at everything in a very, you talk about reframe. You're looking at like, what am I going to do for all
yeah,
of these people, for this home, this family, this everything institution, right? And plus all my other responsibilities. And you know, when I came to Matt, what was supposed to start off as some business coaching, then it very quickly became, I have a child in need
yeah.
and
Life
she's an
coaching.
adult,
Yeah,
and all I cared about in that moment was just saving her life. And Mia, you were very much in a place where, and a lot of people are, I don't want to listen to mom,
yeah, yeah,
you know? And so it became, okay, it can't be me saying these things. It can't be me sharing this message. She needs a different person to talk to. And I felt like this was going to be a good connection. And then when you
yeah.
both are like, yes, I felt such a huge sense of relief. Like, okay,
Mm,
well, I know he's going to guide her. And that gave me the ability to focus on what I needed to do for me. Um, and so because my saboteur was saying, focus on her, don't focus on
yeah.
you, you know,
That's so common for moms, right? It's
that's,
just a natural instinct. And so
that's
the
yeah,
fact that that's one of the things that I'm the fact that you were like willing to let go of some of that also allowed you to have your transformation, because you were able to let go of some of those things. And that, you know, like I said, I it's amazing that you opened up your home to me, and got to experience so many of the family members, because
but
it's
it changed the whole dynamic of the
yeah,
entire home,
yeah,
right? Even though you didn't personally like coach Max or
yeah,
Maddie.
Like, it's not even 10% of the people experiencing a better life
mm,
experience that's obviously going to trickle down to people whether or not they're doing your program or not. You
yeah,
know, like if mom's feeling more balanced, if I'm feeling more balanced, if Maddie's feeling more balanced, then clearly everybody else is going to benefit from that,
ripple effect,
you
yeah,
know?
Well, and but even just our where we sit with ourselves changes how we interact with others, right?
yeah,
So, like how
Yeah.
we're interacting as teachers with our students, how we're interacting with our other family members, how we're absorbing their energy and dealing with whatever they dump on us, right?
yeah, yeah,
Before it used to be knee jerk reactions, right? But now we've put so much work into that inner self
Yeah.
that we can recognize, oh, that has nothing to do with me.
No, like actually,
yep,
like I think it's just like you figure out like energetically how much energy is it gonna take to make
sure.
this negative interaction happen when you could either just be positive or neutral. But like
So,
honestly, yeah, you can
so
see like interacting with Max. I don't think we really argue a lot. Like I think
it's a lot
it's
better.
just more calm, and I think that
Huge.
And
comes from the
he's
overall
learning from us. He's
mental
watching
Yeah,
us.
it comes from the
yeah.
overall mental calmness that we have, like internal peace. Internal peace is where it's at.
Calm knowing. Love it.
One of the things, for example, I won't share our political position,
Yeah,
but you know, I think a lot of people are going through a kind of a collective energy emotional state right now,
for
and
sure.
which we've been through before politically, right? And through major events like COVID and stuff. But we've been able to sit here with all of these thoughts, feelings, emotions, and beliefs and values and opinions and process in such a healthier way compared to how we ever did before. And what I love is how we're able to do it for each other and with each other.
Actually,
Yeah.
because like I said, the suicidal ideation came from so many things. It wasn't just how I felt about myself, it was how I felt about the world. So I'd be like, oh my God. Like if
Totally.
I was to look at everything that's happening right now, I would have a year ago been like, I need to kill myself and jump shit so that I don't have to watch this. Like,
Yeah.
but now I've been really trying to lean in towards uh putting my, you told me to get activated when I told you I was like
Rather than triggered.
hyper,
Yeah. Just lean
and
into it.
and
Totally.
lean into it. And I was like, like I didn't think about that, but I've been like calling my like, senators. I've been, trying to join like informational like programs when I can. I've been um I like went to a town community meeting like a couple of days ago with my mom and
On building a business district to
oh
improve our community
yeah.
for our businesses.
Nice. Nice.
And so yeah, I've been trying to be more
And you should
involved.
have heard her speak.
Well, also
She was
like
impressive.
Awesome.
spreading
That's
the word
awesome.
for like spreading the word for what's going on in the community and getting other people involved too, you
Yeah.
know? Um, oh yeah, also, I forgot to add this win, but again, I don't think I would have been able to take on this level of stress, but my boss is pregnant and she's gonna go into labor soon, like, and she's been training me because she wants me to be the one to take on her position, which is also taking on a different pay. And
Awesome.
I don't think a year ago I would have been able to handle that job without breaking down and, maybe even saying no to it because I would be afraid of not managing
1,000.
well, you
Yeah,
know?
one one thousand percent. It's like I mean, like literally, you got back into school, Mia. Like you
Yes.
there's so many things.
Yes, I
Like
told you on my
you
first day of school.
you weren't
I
able to
did
go to
win.
school, and you could go back to school, and then you're getting this job promotion, and this is the beautiful part of this inside out transformation that
I
is
went to
just so
school a week
powerful.
early before anybody was even on
Which was
campus.
wild. I was like, you're going early, and you're yeah, there you are, right?
But
Unbelievable.
I will say this, I don't know if you've noticed this in yourself. The first time she went to college, she did a great job, but she was a constant stress case and always like paranoid and had a lot of self-doubt. And am I doing it right? Am I missing
Yeah,
something? Am I screwing up? Now I just learned about this in class today. Oh my goodness, did you know about blah 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 blah? And like it's like
perfect.
she's loving school right now. Like
Yeah.
it's not the anxiety. Yesterday I walked in and I said, "What did you do all day? Are you judging me? I've been doing homework all day."
Yeah.
I love
So,
all of
no,
this.
it's just completely different experience, and it for me as a mom, I can I'm not worried. You know
Yeah.
how you worry about your
Yeah.
kids. I
Actually,
worried
I
about
can
her all the
tell.
time,
I
and I'm
can
not worried
I
now.
can tell that difference because again, back to if she's benefiting, I'm benefiting, we're
Yeah.
benefiting.
Yeah.
Um, I think our relationship has gotten much, much better. We definitely have so much less conflict like this year. Like, I think what's crazy is because my mom and I are so alike, we can argue um through that alikeness.
Yeah.
But like I think that this year we've been able to manage our disagreements and things like that without arguing. We still argue, like that's just a part of being in a family, but it's for purposes that make sense to lead towards a better relationship with each other. You know,
Yeah. It's
I think
better, a
For
better
me, the difference
ability to
is
do
I
it.
feel like we actually listen to each other because we want
Mm,
to understand each other.
yeah, it's not like winning. It's not a
love
winning.
that.
More about like let's work towards peace.
This is unbelievable.
And I think that also comes from my mom. I feel like my mom trusts me more this year, which
Mm,
I don't think I think um like my mom's always trusted me,
It's a
but I
different.
think
It's
it's a
the
different
worry.
kind of trust. I think it's more of like she's not sitting here worrying about me all
yeah.
the time and what I'm doing with my life and how I'm doing with my life, you know?
Yeah. Yep. I love this. I appreciate you both sharing all of this. This is so valuable. Anybody that watches this is going to see that there's just so much potential and hope in everything in any area of your life. And I just so appreciate you sharing all this today. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, thank you,
Yeah,
Matt.
I wanted to share.
Yeah.
Um, if anybody sees this, what Mia said about figure out where you want to prioritize and utilize that.
Mm,
One of the things that really helped me, and so Lindsay and I have become closer friends through
yeah,
working with you. So we'll like call each other and pop on the phone and
it's awesome.
and so in any case, um having in all my therapeutic experiences, one of the things that made this very different, and I don't know if I shared this with you or not, is the access to communicate with you
Mm,
in real time, even though you don't reply in real time. So, like going through those losses and those deaths at like 2 in the morning, you're crying and something is heavy on your heart and your mind. And it's like traditionally in therapy, I would have to wait a week or two. And then
yeah.
by then it's just not as raw. And it's like, I need somebody to understand where I'm at right now,
Mhm.
this second
Totally.
right now. And so being able to just leave a Marco Polo and know my feelings are now off my chest, they're out,
Yeah.
and we can deal with them later, but at least I got them out, right?
It's huge.
That was such a different experience, and it was so, so helpful. And then I was doing that in conjunction with, the RTTs, listening to those
Yeah.
to help me through. Simultaneously, I was just doing some of my other self-care things. I for whatever reason, the Book of Joy became my Bible this year.
Mm,
Still is. I will just pop it on, listen to it for 15 minutes, randomly a chapter. Like I don't
beautiful.
even. But when I was having this perspective with this meditation and this ability to, like, in real time process emotions and not hold on to them and wait for them. It just lightning sped my whole self work so rapidly. So I would recommend to people to take advantage of this. At first, it was weird, like I'm making a video and
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but but in the end, I felt like that should be the change in how people
Yeah.
approach therapy.
Yeah, I'm a huge believer in that. I love that you shared that because a lot of times you're stuck in your own self and it's like we need to get it out, number one. And then number two is if I can help you in real time, we're actually processing it quicker. A lot of times people have unprocessed emotions and then they just sit there and they become subconscious programs and that's the problem. It's you're continually trying to do that. So so
Exactly.
many wins, so many fantastic things. Thank you both so much for sharing all this today. It's super appreciated.
Course. Thank you, Matt. Like really, like thank you. Because um yeah, I think that like you being in our life was such a blessing. Like, even if you're on the other side of the country, like you did
That's
so
the thing.
much
We're
here.
y'all
Yeah.
are on the literal opposite side of the country from me, so that's the
Yeah.
fun part about it.
Like I literally have my will to live. Like when I look back on the year, I'm in school, I have the will to live. I'm definitely like focusing on my business way more. And my health is better. I haven't been sick since July. This was my first time being sick and it wasn't like as bad as what I was having before. So, yeah, overall, I think my life has improved in like all aspects.
I think for me, I felt like I had a serious case of imposter syndrome as a CEO
Mm,
because I didn't feel dialed in for the rest of my life.
yeah,
And so now I feel like a CEO. You know,
Boss bitch.
Before, when I used to say I
let's
own a
go.
business and I do this, I felt like such a fraud because I was falling apart everywhere else. And now I feel really legitimate. By the way, I get to be on a panel of women at an annual women's luncheon next month. So I just had to send my bio for
Oh,
that.
awesome.
Oh yeah, so that was cool. And I'm now the co-chair on the education committee for the Chamber of Commerce. And so when I say I'm busy, I've just chosen, what's funny is I used to be so heavily involved in my community.
Yeah,
And in the last 5 years, I've kind of backed away from that a little bit. Um, but because it was always involved in my community in a different way. And I was like, I love community involvement, but how can I
mm,
do that in a way that serves my business? And
yeah,
so I thought, get more involved with the chamber, get more involved with the downtown partnership, and then joining the education committee is a way I can marry my experience of being a teacher and my school network, but with my business from that angle and perspective.
totally.
And so, and it's kind of opened up new visions for me about what direction I can go with my business or how establish myself as a business owner in this community. And so I feel a little bit fresh, a little bit baby steps, right? But
Yeah,
it's
but
also
it's new.
exciting because it's
Yeah,
like we're going to college, right? It's like first day stuff. It's like beginning
totally.
stuff. So the dreams are big right now. But I will say one thing I did want to share was I this is why I haven't been able to make it.
Obviously, we could keep talking about it over
I know.
like so much.
I haven't been able to make it to the Monday group meetings. The other ones I couldn't make because of time difference, right, across the country. But the Monday
Yeah.
one was like, loved it so much. It was like my weekly therapy, like a group
Yeah.
session. But because of these my other meetings with other things, it just wasn't like
Yeah,
working.
you grew.
But I will say, for all the times that Mia and I were able to do that together, and maybe you don't know this, but those conversations carried on
Yeah.
after. Like, we would hang up and go, "Oh my goodness," when so and so,
super
and
cool.
sometimes Madeline would sit in and listen with
Yeah.
us, and so that would almost be kind of come the theme of the week
Yeah.
in the whole,
Cool.
and so
Love that.
I was like, if I could get my whole family to listen to some of these messages,
Yeah.
wow.
Well, like, also, I tried to, like, at one point, because I was missing them quite a bit at one point, and so, like, I was, like, at my boyfriend's house, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm listening to one of the meetings." Like,
I love it.
what I'm just in here, so I might as well, like,
And that,
listen to
I
that.
wish I'd figured that out sooner. So some of the things that I was able to do was like pop in headphones
Yeah.
and watch the live, or do it in my car while I'm driving. Cause I was always very much, I'm very much a like sit down and do one thing at a time. So it's like,
Yep.
I can't get in the meeting because I'm driving. So I have to wait to get somewhere where I can put my laptop.
Yeah.
And then later I was like, but I always felt like I have to have my screen on,
No.
you
Yeah.
know?
No.
And, and now I'm
Just
like,
being
yeah,
there. Yeah.
if I could go back, I would have done more meetings just with my screen off and a headphone
Yeah.
in. And
Yeah.
I watched Sammy Tay like cooking dinner.
Yeah. Totally. That's the way our clients roll, right? It's real life stuff. This is so good. This is the one of the best interviews I've ever done. Thank you all.
Oh,
Thank you,
thank
Matt.
you.